I caught the world largest bonefish, which is the world record, in 1971. You was a little younger then, wasn't you?
1971, I wasn't born.
Wasn't born? You should be shaming yourself. You let a bonefish be older than you. A bonefish. He was the world record, and that's pretty much the size they grow. That he was 16 pounds. So she was 16 pounds because it had a lot of rows in there to make you to know that it was a lady bonefish. And the fella came here to catch that. He said, I just bought into a reel and rod company. I'd like to catch the world record on this reel and rod to make it famous. A fella by the name of Jerry Lavenstein. And I said, Jerry, it don't work like that. Not because you bought the reel and rod, you're going to catch a world record. People try to catch a world record all their life and it never happened. So he said, you will see. I left the dock at 11 o'clock. And 6 minutes after 11, we had on the world record bonefish. It ran off 230 yards of line, that's 700 feet. Running off to the north. And you have to have everything working right for you to catch the world record bonefish. They're in shallow water. You only use an 8-pound test line. The bonefish now that's on the line is 16 pounds, twice the strength of the line. But you have to drag on a spool to take care of that. Rather than him pulling more than 8-pound tests, the drag would slip and allow him to run with the line. And it took us 1 hour to get that bonefish in, 1 full hour. And we got it in and weighed it off, and it was 16 pounds 3 ounces. The old record was 15 pounds, so we beat it by a pound and 3 ounces. We got the bonefish. Sharks was running here then. Fly it into Miami, the Miami Herald building. Certify the weight there. Fly it back in here in the same hour. We left the band playing. Drinks for the whole island on the whole island. Then we had a steak night for all the guides, captains, mates. And he said, I'm going to Virginia Beach, Virginia. And I'm going to get shirts, pennants, caps, and flags made up to march the whole band, marching band, and the calypso band I want playing. And I wanted the commission all to be inside of the march, and we came back with all the shirts and all of the banners and everything else, and we marched the island and had the banners saying world record bonefish 16 pound. Jerry Lavenstein was on the banners. And I don't know what that bill was, because he set up the whole island twice, all the drinks free, and the band's playing. So that's the excitement it was with the bonefish being the world record, and it still stands today. 16 pound, nobody break that since. It still holds the world record. It's in the Bimini book with my brother wrote. The
Mr. Ansil Saunders.
Ansil Saunders. This book here has it. I think I can find it somewhere. But anyway, that's a picture of Hemingway. He helped make Bimini famous. He caught the first bluefin tuna in Bimini whole. Some fish tunas was caught before he caught that, but the sharks eat them up all the time. And he was the first man that brought one in whole in Bimini. Ernest Hemingway. I know of him because he lived right near us when he was living here, right across the fence from us. He used to always walk around and 40 ounce bottle in his back pocket. And he'd pay you to fight him. He'd tell you, he'd give you so much around if you could go around with it. He'd tell you you could hit him as hard as you feel like hitting him, but he won't hit you hard. When you take that for granted and you hit him hard, most of the fights was on the dog. The next thing you know, he done uppercut you overboard. They got to fish you out of the water. Big, strong, husky man, or in the seminary where it was. And I get to know him because he lived near us. But the people I met in my lifetime is unbelievable. I made a necklace for the Queen. She said she's gonna wear it, I don't believe her. And it's made from a shell that's called a gold shell, common name. The scientific name is mongenelle. Its name, it's a shell that's big as your fingernail, and it's kind of a little conch-like. And because that animal comes out completely over the back of the shell, on the face of the shell, the whole shell is very shiny because of the animal. Conchs only come in front of the shell, so the front is pretty, but the back of a conch could be ugly. This shell is pretty front and back because that's the way the animal covered the whole shell over when it's crawling, you know. So I made that necklace out of the Queen, for the Queen, out of that shell. You have to bait up that little conch. You have to bury them till they die, then pick out the animal out of it, and then you have to bore little holes to the edge of that shell so you can string them on a gold chain, you know. And I did one for, they was having something in Nassau one time for all the islands on Nassau. H.M. Taylor put it on, and it was each island was supposed to present the Queen with something that they made in that island to represent that island. And I made that necklace to represent Bimini. So when I went to London, in the Tower of London, where they have all of the gifts that was given from different countries, in there, and I saw that necklace in there, representing Bimini and the Bahamas. So I felt good about that. I met the Queen one time in Nassau, and we were on a whole line, and she said, "What you do?" And I said, "I build boats, and I'm a bone fisherman." She said, "Bonefish? What is bonefish?" And I described the fish to her as pound for pound is the strongest fish in the sea, and how they're frightened of noises, and you have to stalk them like you stalk a deer when you're fishing for them. You can't let the bait drop too close, neither splash too hard. And you get a great fight. People come from all over the world to catch it. I caught the world record in 1971, and it still stands today. So I met the Queen twice, Margaret Thatcher twice, the Iron Lady. She said, "What you do?" And I told her of the same thing. And we went up to London one time with the Commonwealth's heads of government. And Sir Lyndon, who I used to bring on for his keynote addresses, carried me with him. And she pulled me out from a crowd of people that were sitting there, including all of the leaders from Commonwealth members and countries, past Gandhi from India, Hawke from Australia, and Maroney from Canada. And she came and she pulled me out from the crowd, and she said, "Oh, from Bahamas, eh? So what you do?" I said, "Well, I build boats and bonefish." I described that to her. And she said she'd like to come back. And I thought she was going to say bonefish. I'd like to come back and catch me a sailfish. So I said to myself, who talking about sailfish? We talk about bonefish. I said that to myself. But I was fortunate enough to meet some of the great people of the 20th century, you know. Like, that was the Queen. Met Margaret Thatcher, met Martin Luther King Jr., Adam Clayton Powell, and a lot of great men and great women, because of the kind of business I was in. That bone fishing business allows you to see small and great people, and it's very, very profitable. It pays good. I do hope that some of the young people start to take that up, because it's a good living. But everybody, all the young people say it's too hard, because we pull the boats. You can't run a motor when you're bone fishing. You only can run the motor to get there on the flats. But you have to pull very quietly to stalk them, you know, like you do a deer. Cross them off, throw a bait out there, and if your bait is presented right, 95% of the time you would get a strike. And when you get that strike, a 6-pound bonefish could sometime go over half hour with a fight. That's a 6-pound bonefish. When I caught the world record, it fought for 1 full hour. And you can imagine how tired the angler gets. The bonefish got tired too, because when I brought it into the boat, it was pounding like a human. And it had 2 big rows. When an animal has young ones, to capture them, they fight twice as hard to save the young ones than they would if, you know, they didn't have the babies. So this bonefish had rows that was just about ready to be released into the wild to be, you know, hatched. So it fought very, very hard and strong. And when I got him into the boat, it was pounding like a human. I was almost sorry for the fish. But we had to bring fish in those days. We don't bring fish in like that now. We just take the picture, weigh the fish, and let him go. But in those days, this is 1971, you had to bring the fish in. They wasn't going to believe you, you know. But they would believe you, because we have the cameras now to take the picture right away and let him go. But it's a great thing that for bone fishing, that we can get some young people interested to bone fish. You have one new fellow, young man coming now, learning the trade. The rest of the young boys say it's too hard, and it pays top dollar. But we had a period in this island and in this whole country when we had the drug period. The money came in too easy for the newcomers, for the young people, so they were spoiled from doing, you know, menial work or hard work. They were spoiled from that, so we are stuck with that. All is not lost, but too many are lost. You know, they don't want to work like that, and that creates a bad environment for the country. And I hope we can get past that period, that era, when that fast, easy money came in, whereas you didn't really have to produce work for money. It was only a fast dollar, which don't last. And that's the period we're going through now, and we are suffering through the whole Bahamas because that period went through on us. And it caused the workforce in the Bahamas or in Bimini not to be able to replace the older people. The young people didn't learn how to really work for a living. Not all of them, but too many of them.